I've been living with my brain injury post-concussion syndrome for over 5 months now, and on Sunday night I got a bit of a fright because my speech and movement went all the way back to the day that I was diagnosed. So in this video I'm going to tell you about what happened and also how important that I believe nutrition now really is when it comes to dealing with a brain injury. Now, I'm definitely not any expert in this, so for nutritional advice, obviously bear that in mind. I'm just going to talk to you about the experience that I've had. So obviously speak to an expert and don't take my word for it when it comes to nutritional advice. So I've got my notes here because I'm still feeling really quite slow, but I want to do this video as a little bit of a reminder to myself, so I can see visually, and you can too, what it's like when you get things wrong. So today is Tuesday, the 7th of August 2018. It's now day 157 since my snow sled accident that gave me my brain injury. So on Sunday afternoon, which is now 2 days ago, I had been to visit my parents, and I usually go and see them once a week if I'm able to. And I know that I still have struggles being in groups of people, and often when I see them, I'll see my family for a certain amount of time, and then if there's more than one conversation goes on, if there's too many people for me to handle, generally I need to go and have a lie down, just to try and settle my brain a little bit, because noises are overwhelming and it makes my speech slow and gives me headaches and makes my walking worse. It just makes everything worse. Sorry guys, I love you. But my brain's just all a bit delicate. So on Sunday afternoon I was feeling, I think there was maybe around 7 of us, and I was feeling, when I walked in, there was less people than usual, but I felt as though I was more sensitive to noise that day than what I usually would be. But I stayed for a while, and I managed to get through and didn't need to have a lie down. But afterwards, when I went home, I was feeling really sleepy in the car, and then when we got home I just went straight to bed because I was absolutely wiped out. JP woke me up later that night and we had a takeaway. We do try and eat healthy most of the time, but we're not perfect, and over the weekend my nutrition has definitely not been perfect, and I think that has played a big part in what's happened with my symptoms. So after we'd finished the takeaway, I was lying on the sofa and saying to JP that I was really, really tired and that I needed to go to bed. I just felt as though in an instant I was just, well, even as I was eating tea, I was cutting things up, but I felt as though I was really slow. And then I just felt absolutely wiped, like absolutely drained of all energy. And he tried to help me to my feet, but it just didn't go very well, and I basically said, could I not just lie down on the floor, like could you not just leave me? But It probably would have been easier had I crawled through to bed, but I wasn't thinking of that right there and then. So I went through to bed, and I don't know if you ever get this, but my body does this thing where it's like when you're absolutely exhausted, your body jolts to kind of, just as you're falling asleep, to kind of keep you awake, I guess. I don't know why, but that was happening a lot. And when I was speaking to JP, like, I know that I'm quite slow now, but speech and movement was so painfully slow. I just got such a fright because it felt like I hadn't been that slow since the day that I got diagnosed, which is over 5 months ago now. So safe to say that I got a fright. So yesterday I got up and I did a lot of not much. I rested, I watched a bit of TV, I slept an awful lot, and I just had so much more pain than normal. Everything was just worse than what it usually is. And although things are moving a little bit faster and speech is a little bit faster now, I just feel like it's given me enough of a fright to think that I really need to take nutrition much more seriously, because I know that I'm going to have to rest, like complete rest, for a few days yet, before I try and even like leave the flat, because I just think that when I've had setbacks that haven't been like this, that they haven't been as bad as this, I've had to learn to really stop and rest. And for me, generally when my speech goes slow, that is a major sign for me to properly just switch off and rest. So I know from talking to a lot of other people that have post-concussion syndrome that nutrition, when they've got it right, has made a big difference for them, and when they've got it wrong, has also had bad effects on them. So I think what's happened for me over the weekend was I ate too much pizza. So I'm not sure if my brain isn't liking the carbs or the dairy or the gluten or the volume of all of it that I was eating over the weekend. Because I do try to eat healthily most of the time, but you know what it's like. Sometimes you just crave a bit of junk food, don't you? And I just ate too much crap basically over the weekend. And so I don't want to be doing this and putting myself into this state anymore, because I think everything is good in moderation, but clearly what I ate over the weekend was too much for my brain to handle. So what I'm going to be trying to do as we go forward now is be more strict with my diet. So I'm going to be eating less carby things and less dairy, and I'm going to be eating more foods that are good for the brain. So from what I can understand about nutrition, there are foods that can cause inflammation in the body. So any of those types of food, like gluten, carbohydrates and dairy, then if they're causing inflammation in the body, then it's not good for the brain. And then there are other foods that can have healing properties or can be generally good for your brain. So that's things like, so I could have beetroot, avocado and peanut butter on toast. I was eating that for a while for lunch, so I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of that now. Also things like almonds, so healthy nuts, seeds, coconut oil, so cooking with that instead of vegetable oil, and generally eating more veg. So I have given JP my concussion repair manual to read. There's 2 sections in that book that have foods that are helpful for healing brain injuries, and then there are foods that you have to avoid. And I think that there's maybe about 30 or 40 pages across those 2 chapters. So I know that I did read it. I haven't managed to read the whole book, but I made sure to read those bits. I don't know how long ago, maybe a few months ago anyway. And I know that some people have overhauled their diets, maybe going on a complete ketogenic diet, or I can't think of any other kinds, but I know that there are people that have success and have seen great improvements with their diets when they have, or great improvements in their PCS recovery when they have completely overhauled their diets. And up until now, I have been adding in some of the good things and taking out some of the bad things. I should also mention oily fish is good for, is one of the good foods as well. But I think since we moved into our new place, I just, again, it's routine and things. I don't know if it's, I don't know why, but I'm just not there with the foods that I was eating before. So I'm going to have to try harder and be stricter, and hopefully things will get back very soon to how they were before this incident. I know that I'm definitely not perfect when it comes to nutrition, but I'm usually on the healthier side, except for this weekend where I just don't think I ate any of the good things at all. And I know that since I've moved in here, I've been forgetting to take my Barocca, which is the healthy brain vitamins. So I'm going to have to start setting reminders, because trying to create new routines is still difficult for me, and I was getting so annoyed at the amount of reminders that I had to use for things, but I'm going to have to go there again because I know it's for the best. But like I said, I'm not perfect, but I've definitely had a wake-up call. So from now on, let's just, hopefully I can move past this quite quickly. I can get a lot of rest in, and just, I'll not even say I'm going to rest for so many days. I'm just going to rest however long this brain is telling me to. So guys, if you are a PCS warrior yourself, I would love to hear from you. Jump into the comments below and let me know Has anything like this ever happened to you when you have got your nutrition wrong? Are there particular foods that you've had to completely cut out of your diet? And are there any things, any foods that you think are really, really helpful? Jump into the comments below and you can help all of us. And once again, thank you all so much for your support. And I shall catch up with you soon. Bye bye.